As a writer, you know that it's incredibly important to make sure that you have a community to be a part of, because as authors, we are so frequently isolated behind our computer screen, writing our novels for hours on end, for months on end. We're not getting a ton of socialization, but having a community means we have somebody to depend on. We can ask our questions. We can go through the emotional stages of life with. We can make sure we're supporting each other. We can bring each other in on projects and raise and build each other up in this industry and in this community. So having friend groups is incredibly important. But having diverse friend groups is more important than that. And I'm not talking about diversity within the context of your friend group. That's great and that's important. But this video is all about diversifying your friend groups, having multiple friend groups that are not connected. You should have friends in multiple areas of this industry. And while you'll have some crossover, your friend will be in more than one group, you need to have friends that are not connected. And that's for a lot of reasons. The first and most likely of which is that in this industry, we have a lot of people experiencing friend breakups. We have a lot of people who do really well with a group of friends, and then all of a sudden somebody decides, this is not working, I don't like this, I'm going to end this and cancel this friendship, and they take the people in the divorce. You have to be very, very careful that you don't lose everything because one person gets mad at you. Having isolated groups allows you to, even if one of them burns to the ground, you still have access to all those other people. But in addition to that, we have diverse groups of friends because you have different needs and different things that you're growing with inside of your business. For example, I write a lot of different genres: fantasy, sci-fi, thriller, mysteries, and those things don't really overlap. If I only had friends in the fantasy space, when I have questions about the thriller that I'm writing, who am I going to go to? Who am I going to depend on? Likewise, if I do a lot of like procedural stories and I know a lot of cops and public safety people and I hang out with them, what do I then do when I'm writing the romance novel? It's not the same, right? So we want to make sure we have some diversity so that we understand how we can grow in those different realms. But that also goes back to how we're growing, because you're going to have a group of friends that's really good about doing book signings and events and virtual things. You're going to have a group of friends who's really good about the structural side of how you're doing your writing and how you're doing the back end of your marketing. You're going to have a group of friends who's really social on social that you're going to be able to collaborate with. You're going to have different friend groups for different reasons and purposes. And your friend groups are not just specifically for purposes, but as you're forming these friendships, you're going to start to see you've got a lot of things in common and things that you heavily lean into. So my people who are really good about doing one thing tend to not be so great about doing other things that I am doing. And I, for them, serve purposes as well. I am the girl who brings them all the information on X, Y, and Z and doing all of these different things. So making sure you have a wide variety of friend groups is incredibly important. And making sure you keep them isolated is very, very helpful. And you're going to get information and value and friendships and relationships that are different from each of these groups. And you should not expect the same things from each group that you're in. You might have a really good, strong group of people that are the people that you complain to, that you kind of go through the hardships of author life with. And that is not the type of thing you're going to discuss with the people who are helping you on the marketing side of things, or on the type of education you need to write the specific novel that you're doing. If you're writing about a different genre or a different type of occupation or a different style of things, those people who are more informational are not going to be the emotional side of your support. So you want to make sure you have different sections for the different needs that you have inside of this industry. And you're gonna, again, see some crossover, but if you put all your eggs in one basket, that basket can go away at any time. So you have to make sure you're very careful with the friends that you are picking. You have to be so careful because there's a lot of things you don't want to get into in the publishing space. You need to make sure that you are finding high quality, creative, ethical, legally based friends who are doing things the right way and who are being good human beings and all the things. And you've got to be careful with people who are maybe a little on the shadier side, who are presenting well. So you've got to be very, very careful. Should anything happen, that you still have eggs in other baskets, things that you are doing in other places, people that you can rely on, and people you can go to for different reasons. I'm right now thinking of some of my closest author friends, and the ones that I speak to the most aren't friends. They're not connected. And so I'll talk to one person in this area and one person in this area, and I talk to them a lot about different things in different ways, and they just aren't friends, or they don't even know some of my other friends. Now, I'm the type of person who likes to bring my friend groups together. I like to pull everybody together and do collaborations, all these things, and that's backfired on me a lot. Not always, but enough that I would warn you about it. So having a diverse group of friends is incredibly helpful, and having that diversity within your groups is essential for your success as an author. So drop your questions. We're actually going to be talking a lot about working with other authors and forming those friendships and making sure we're maintaining healthy, responsible, good author friendships, because I keep seeing a lot of toxicity and not some great things in this industry. So we're going to kind of go over be careful of, like, you know, a little bit of a distance on that particular group, pull this group a little bit closer kind of things, and also how to make sure that you have those healthy friendships inside of your friend groups in the author world. So follow along down below, drop your questions. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most profitable year ever with the least amount of stress and overwhelm and time commitment on the content you're creating. We'll see you then.